Everybody, welcome to day 2 of our asynchronous learning week. It is Tuesday, March 30th, and I am so excited to be here with all of you today, working on some material for us. So today, tomorrow, and Thursday, we're going to have videos from different teachers at our schools that are going to help us through some different material. So let's get started right away. So today, here are some directions. First things first is make sure you follow along with this video. The Desmo screen that you see right here is actually what you're going to be using and what you're going to have posted in Google Classroom. So make sure you're following along with that. Second thing is we're going to have some practice problems for you to do. So let's make sure you're completing practice problems number 1 through 3, and that's going to be your classwork grade. That is for effort and for completion. Third thing is that you're going to complete your exit ticket, and that's going to be for a quiz grade. That's going to be the exact same amount that would be graded as a normal exit ticket. And then our final thing is good luck, everybody. Make sure you're emailing, calling, texting me and your teachers if you have any questions for us there. So without further ado, let's get ourselves started here. So what are we working on today? Today we're working on some material that only 30% of you got right. That's an exit ticket that only 30% of us got correct. And that's okay. Like I said, that's okay. That's why we're going over this together. We're not at the end of the year. We want to make sure that all of us are coming with a really strong, complete understanding of everything we do this year. So today we're going to be reviewing this material so that next time 100% of us get it right here. So let's dive right in. So we're going to do a little bit of a review, and today we're going to be taking a look at multiplying and dividing rational numbers with negatives and positives. By rational numbers, we mean decimals, fractions, things like that, stuff that is kind of unfamiliar to us sometimes, but like I said, we're going to be getting better at it throughout our day today. So here's some examples, a little bit of a review here. Let's keep in mind that we multiply 2 positive numbers together. Our product here is going to be positive. Multiply 2 negative numbers together. Once again, our product is positive. Remember, opposites multiplied together are going to give, or 2 negatives multiplied together gives us a positive. But when we do a negative times a positive, that's our opposites. That gives us a negative, or a positive times a negative, that gives us a negative. So when we have 2 of the same, that gives us a positive. But if each one's different, that's going to give us a negative there. This is some review from some stuff we learned earlier in the year that I want to make sure everybody had a little refresher on before we hop right into our lesson. Here's another great example of how we can visualize that in a number line using some rational numbers there. Feel free to spend some time on these slides, look over them, do whatever you need to do. That's going to help you understand this material a little bit better. So here's another example here of multiplying decimals, just a little review for how we can make sure we're tracking that decimal point all the way down. Just once again, I wanted to throw some review on here as a little refresher to get our brains all primed and ready for our practice problems we're going to be doing here in a second. So the problem that we're going to be starting with is an identify the error problem. So you're going to see 2 students work in about a second, and one of them did it correctly and one of them did it incorrectly. So they both tried to solve the following question. What is the product of, let's think about what product means, negative 4.2, 1.9, and negative 0.5. So in the next slide here, you'll have an annotation tool, right? We have our annotating tool right up here. This is regular Desmos that we're going to be using to identify who had the error. So take the next 1 minute and I want you to identify the error. I want you to write on the screen as well who got this problem wrong and why. So pause the video for 1 minute, go. Awesome. Hopefully you spent the last minute working on that there. So let's look at our error here. Do we think scholar A got it correct or scholar B got it correct? Well, let's look at what they did. Scholar A multiplied negative 4.2 times positive 1.9 and got positive 7.98. Uh-oh, is that correct? Let's think back to our review. Multiply a negative and a positive number, what does that give us? That's right, this right here is an incorrect step. This should be negative 7.98. So that means we multiply these 2 together, we should be getting positive 3.99. So that scholar A is going to be incorrect. But what about scholar B? Did they do it correct? Let's take a look. This scholar did negative 4.2 times negative 1.9, and yep, looks good to me, negative 7.98. Want to make sure we keep going here to finish off the problem. Multiply negative 7.98 times negative 0.5. Here I see 2 negative numbers. Did we end up with a positive? Absolutely did. Positive 3.99. Scholar B did a great job. I hope you're able to identify the error there. And if you didn't, go back and try it again and see if you can spot what the error is going to be and make sure you have that labeled on your screen because myself and your other teachers are going to be looking for that there. So our key point for the day is the following. You're going to stamp that in your box over here. I want to make sure everybody writes the key point right here. Our key point is that integer multiplication and division rules also apply to rational numbers. We saw on that first review slide there that positive times positive gives us a positive, Negative times negative gives us a positive, and then negative times a positive or vice versa gives us a negative. So those are also going to apply to rational numbers. It's not just going to be to those easy whole numbers that we're used to. Today we're with only rational numbers. That's going to be fractions, decimals, like I said, and our multiple and our integer multiplication and division rules are also going to apply to that with our negatives. So let's make sure we're stamping that key point in the box there, because we're all going to be looking for that when we're going through your work and grading at the end of the day today. So let's take a quick look at our criteria for success. Let's make sure we're doing each of these as we go along. I want to see multiplication division work being shown. We can use a calculator to check our work, but let's make sure we're actually showing us how the steps we got, the answer that we did. Want to make sure we're using those negative values correctly. Feel free to use those review slides while you're doing the problems there. Let's see that final answer being boxed, and I want to make sure your work is neat and organized the entire time. This is going to be on all your slides there. I just want to have this little review, making sure we're doing all those things to get the answers that we want to. So we have our next 3 practice slides here. We have practice problems 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go over them real quick, and then I want you to spend the next 10 minutes solving those on your own. So practice problem number 1 says, evaluate the expression and use estimation. Want to make sure you're using estimation there. That's when we round our numbers to prove your answer is reasonable. Taking negative 25.1 times negative 4.8. So let's put our work in the sketch feature, and let's put our answer in the text box here. Once again, make sure that you're showing me all your work there, and then we're meeting all of our criteria for success. Our next practice problem is negative 4.5 times negative 8.5 times negative 2.25. Once again, we have 3 numbers here. So let's keep in mind we have to keep applying those multiplication and division rules there with negative numbers. So same thing, sketch work goes here, and let's put our final answer here. Let's box our answer as well, and make sure we're hitting all those criteria for success there. And our final practice problem is evaluating, sorry, we have 4 practice problems, my mistake. Our third practice problem is dividing 50.4 by negative 2.4. This time we are dividing 2 rational numbers. Once again, those integer rules are still going to, those multiplication division rules are still going to apply, but we're going to be dividing this time. So let's make sure we're doing that correctly. Checking to work with the calculator. And then our final practice problem here is negative 3 4/5 divided by 2 2/5 there. So that's going to be practice problem number 4. All right, this time we're using fractions. Let's make sure we're converting these both into improper fractions. Going to write that out for us. Improper fractions before we do those, before we actually get into dividing there. And then we're going to have to do keep, change, flip. Just a little review there. Awesome. So spend the next 10 minutes working on your practice problems here, and unpause the video after 10 minutes and when you're done. Pause, go. Excellent. I hope you all were able to complete those practice problems and work through those on your own. So what we're going to do next is you're going to have 10 minutes to complete the new exit ticket problems here. All right. So we're going to do the exact same way we're doing it. We're still looking for our criteria for success there. So our first exit ticket problem says we have negative 4/5 times negative 3.5. So here we have a fraction and decimal. I want you to both convert them into the same form so we can multiply those easily and apply those multiplication and division rules. And then our next exit ticket question asks us to do negative 3/4 times negative 2 1/4 divided by negative 3/5. Let's make sure we're getting those into form that we're comfortable with and applying those multiplication and division rules there once again. You'll have 10 minutes to complete this exit ticket. Please begin. And you should be pausing the screen now and beginning. Excellent. As you guys are finished with your exit ticket, awesome job today. I am really happy that we're all able to do this. We're able to have some videos for you. Make sure you're completing that Desmos. Make sure that's getting turned in and you're hitting submit on Google Classroom. And tomorrow we're going to have a video from one of our other teachers in our schools that's going to help us through some more work here. Thanks so much, and I hope you all have a great day. Good luck with this, and I will see you all after spring break.